7:33. New York City students headed back to in-person learning today following a virtual learning day that really had some widespread technical problems. It didn't start off well at all. Chancellor David Banks apologized for the remote learning issues and urged parents and students not to give up.
No parents are frustrated, but we don't try once or twice and say, you know, the DOE got it, didn't get it right. My kids are heading outside to play in the snow. That's not what the response should be either.
So even Councilwoman Rita Joseph, who chairs the Committee on Education, had issues logging her son on for remote classes on Tuesday. She sent this tweet out shortly after 9 a.m. yesterday saying she can only imagine what other parents are going through. So joining us this morning to address the issues that teachers faced is Teachers Union President Michael Mulgrew. So thanks for joining us, Michael. We appreciate your time.
Good morning. Happy Valentine's Day, everyone.
Yeah, happy Valentine's Day. I mean, it was a virtual, literal mess yesterday. And the Department of Education blaming IBM for not being ready to have 900,000 students logging on at the same time. So we're told the system was actually tested out in October. So were you aware of any of these problems during those stress tests back in October?
No, because that's the problem. They weren't stress tests. What we found out is that they were only testing a handful of districts at a time. On the day that we were doing those tests, our focus was making sure that all the teachers had the right equipment, that the students had the right equipment, that they had the log-on protocols, the things they would need to do if we went to a virtual learning day. And that actually tested really well. We were not aware that they didn't stress test the system for, you basically have to guess that there's going to be at least 1.1 million people besides students, but you have teachers, you have different personnel who do different functions in the school. So we know we need 1.1 million people to be able to log on at the same time, and clearly they did not test that.
Okay, so big lesson learned here. Is it smooth sailing for the next go around, do you think?
You know, what we learned yesterday was that the schools were prepared, the students were prepared, the teachers were prepared, the parents at certain levels, you know, the lower levels, everyone was prepared and tried to log on, which is why it crashed. So we're going to debrief with the Department of Ed. You know, I spoke quite often with the chancellor yesterday. He's very frustrated because he said, Michael, I was told they were ready and everything was tested, and he was quite angry. But again, nobody wants to hear that. What they want to hear is that the students got on and the school system is there to support learning. That's what we're supposed to be doing.
What's wrong with just having a snow day?
Oh, our calendar. It's the calendar.
But can you explain that? Can you explain that? Because and the mayor said that to me. The mayor said that to me the other day too. 180 days.
You have to get 180 days in, and we go till June 28th. The issue is we are the most diversified city in the world at this point, which is great. We love that. We embrace it. Everyone wants their holiday recognized. So we absolutely recognize the most holidays of any school district anywhere.
How many are there? How many are there?
I can't even keep count anymore because last year we ordered they recognized Diwali, which was great. I just found out yesterday in Albany they're introducing a bill to recognize St. Patrick's
Day, right?
Right. So, now, I'm Irish, and I'm telling you, this is going to be a problem.
So what are you saying? Are you saying that because they're recognizing holidays, that replaces the built-in snow days for that 180 days?
Now you understand it completely. That's exactly it.
So there's really no room for error.
No. Right now, some years we have 0. Other years we have 1. That's it. So it really comes down to that's the problem. So we are going to have to get the virtual piece right. We're going to work with the DOE. Clearly, we're not going to get any pushback when we say we want to stress test with 1.1 million people logging on at the same time. And hopefully this goes better because nobody deserves this. But thankfully, if you saw yesterday, by 12:30, 970,000 people were logged on. So the teachers kept their students engaged despite the challenge. And then when they were able to get on, were able to get their students on. And that's a testament to our great teachers who always live up to any challenge and always figure it out.
But how was the communication, though, between the teachers and the DOE about what the issues were and how they were to proceed?
It was loud and fast by 9 o'clock. We didn't need, the teachers don't need communication on how to proceed. They already have other ways.
No, but I mean about what the issues were. Was it clear to them what was going on right away?
No, they just knew because our emails flooded with, we keep trying to authenticate. It's the authentication process is what caused the problem. But the teachers did the right thing. They pivoted towards using their classroom text messaging systems to engage their students. And a lot of teachers never trust the Department of Ed systems. So they had built-in redundancies. They had already sent work home and were teaching through their texting process. And at the lower levels, they were calling. They were just calling the parents to make sure the students had said, look, we hope to get this straightened out, but I did send work home. So you saw all of that happening. And that just happens because teachers are always dealing with the surprises. But sadly, the DOE not figuring something out is not a surprise to us.
Are there students who don't have the ability to go remote? They don't have a device?
No, because all of the equipment that we now buy the students is digital. That was something we learned during COVID. Instead of dealing with trying to get Wi-Fi in every neighborhood, you just buy the devices. They're a little more expensive, but you don't have to worry about it. They're digital, and therefore they can log on from basically anywhere in the city.
Okay.
So Wi-Fi access is not an issue anymore?
No, as long as we have the digital devices, it just costs us more. But, Wi-Fi should be accessible to everyone, but we're not getting into that political debate.
Well, big lesson learned here. Hopefully they do that stress test with IBM. It wasn't seem like it was entirely, it was IBM's problem, but it seemed like there should have been a test by the DOE in conjunction with IBM. Hopefully it goes off without a hitch next time. Michael Mulgrew, appreciate you and all the teachers that jumped right into action yesterday. Thank you.
Thank you.